This week in U.S. news, President Donald Trump faced criticism over his use of religious language following the rescue of an American airman in Iran. Trump described the operation as Easter miracle during an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, framing the mission in religious terms and portraying the war as divinely blessed. Other cabinet members echoed similar messages. Trump also threatened Iran on social media, warning Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face attacks on power plants and bridges, signing off with phrase, "Praise to be Allah." Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett referred Easter symbolism, calling the rescue one of the greatest search and rescue missions in military history. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted "God is good" on X, reposting Trump's update
by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, "God is good."
A report suggests that rescued officer uttered the phrase after ejecting from his aircraft. Critics have argued that Trump's religious rhetoric blurs the line between faith and policy. Republican former Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said Christians in government should pursue peace rather than escalate war, emphasizing Jesus' teachings on forgiveness and love. The Council on American-Islamic Relations condemned Trump's use of religious phrases in conjunction with violent threat, calling it reckless and a mockery of Islam. Meanwhile, a group of 30 Democratic lawmakers requested an investigation into reports that some U.S. military members invoked biblical end-time prophecies to justify the war in Iran. The letter stressed the importance of keeping military operations guided by facts and law, protecting the religious freedom of service members. On domestic policy, the White House proposed cutting more than 9,400 transportation security and administration jobs and $1.5 billion from its budget. The cuts, part of the fiscal year 2027 proposal, aim to privatize security at smaller airports and improve efficiency by eliminating redundancies. The union representing TSA officers opposed the plan, arguing privatization could compromise safety. The proposal would reduce the agency's $7.8 billion budget by about 20%, following a year of funding disruptions that caused staffing shortage. The Trump administration also moved to terminate civil rights settlements protecting transgender students. The U.S. Education Department said 6 prior resolution agreements with school districts established under previous administration would no longer be monitored or enforced. The settlement had aimed to ensure transgender students equal access to education under Title 11. The move drew condemnation from LGBTQ+ and human rights advocates, while Education Department officials described as removing unnecessary and unlawful burden. In transportation, the Federal Aviation Administration announced plans to hire 2,300 new air traffic control trainees to address persistent staffing shortage. The FAA is about 3,500 controllers short of target levels, leading to mandatory overtime and 6 days work weeks for existing staff. The agency is requesting $95.4 million for trainee hires and $39 million for safety oversight and space transportation enforcement. Congress previously approved $12.5 billion for air traffic control upgrades, with additional funding sought for technology improvement. Finally, 2 U.S. House Democrats, Pramila Jayapal and Jonathan Jackson, visited Cuba to assess the impact of Trump's fuel blockade. They described the embargo as an illegal restriction of energy supply, worsening conditions for Cuban citizens. During the visit, they met President Miguel Diaz-Canel and other officials, expressing concern for healthcare facilities and warning that continued hardship could trigger migration towards the U.S. The lawmaker emphasized the need for negotiation and compromise to reverse decades of failed U.S. policy towards Cuba.